All right, what's up, fellas? Thursday afternoon, 4 o'clock. Huge football weekend ahead. Tons of great stuff going on at Barstool, as always. We got a bunch of new merch coming out, too, for Black Friday. We're rocking it around, so make sure to spend some holiday dollars with us at the Barstool store. I'm Barstool Mintzy. Fired up to be in here because we got another big football weekend ahead. Going to be joined by Tyler Moody, as always. We're going to make some money. We're going to make some picks. We're going to hit some parlays, damn it. I'm freaking due. And we got a good Thursday night football game, Bills and Texans tonight. Bills a 5.5-point favorite, 44.5 over under. We'll get into that. A bunch of college football and NFL storylines to get into. We'll go through some games, pick some winners for the weekend. Chat, as always, here to answer some questions. But we're going to start at the top from the damn topic that everybody's talking about because you can't get away from it. The Lane Kiffin ongoing saga that never will end. Every day, storylines change. It's a roller coaster. You know, Florida thought they had him. Now LSU thinks they have him. He won't commit. He was on the Pat McAfee show yesterday. Look, I still feel good about him coming back to Ole Miss when all is said and done. I don't know anything as far as inside sources go. I just can't see him leaving before the playoffs because that's just too crazy for him to do. But it is going to continue to drag out. I feel like Lane may be trying to drag it out past the Egg Bowl. Certainly, the sooner it gets resolved, the better. But ultimately, I'd give it like a 70%. I think Lane's going to stay. I know LSU and Florida obviously want him. He's got, he's enjoying his time getting 8-figure a year salaries offered from 3 schools. But I'm just saying that's my gut instinct. And God knows I've been wrong many, many times before, but that's what I feel about it. Also want to mention some of the other college football coaching storylines. James Franklin, great hire for Virginia Tech. You look what he did at Vandy, resurrecting them. He came and took over Penn State in a bad spot. He's the guy to get Virginia Tech back to 8 or 9 wins and respectability and, a chance to win the ACC, which is kind of a dog crap conference. A lot of other coaching rumors just flying all over the place. John Sumrall, friend of the program, has been involved in a lot of them. Thought it was a really funny story yesterday where it got reported he was interviewing with Florida, but it wasn't true. And Sumrall was trolling him, saying the only meeting I'm worried about is this one in the Tulane quarterbacks room. So, the Florida Sumrall thing could never happen. Not saying that John isn't going to be a great hire wherever he goes or if he stays at Tulane, but how do you sell that to a fan base in Florida? Like, we're going to take another G5 Louisiana coach that's a defensive guy after Napier just failed. That's impossible to sell to a fan base. And I love John Sumrall, and I think whoever gets him or wherever he coaches, he's going to be successful because he's that kind of a dynamic dude. But the Florida thing, just can't see that on that front. It just doesn't make a ton of sense. Mr. Moody, how we doing today, bud?
What's good, brother? Do you think John Sumrall is back at Tulane next year? Because I feel like he's one of the hottest names on the market and truly is one of the best coaches in the country, especially in the G5 ranks.
I do not think he's back at Tulane next year, no. I think there's a chance because I know he loves NOLA, and so he's not like going to take any job that comes open. But my instincts still say, like when you look at John Sumrall, from Huntsville, won 2 Sun Belt titles at Troy, wife went to Auburn. I still think he's the favorite for Auburn. That's my instincts on it. The thing with Auburn right now, though, DJ Durkin, the interim, if he beats Bama in the Iron Bowl, he could get the job because they like their roster. And so, you know how Auburn is, Moody. All they care about is beating Alabama. And the opening early line, they're only a 6.5-point dog. It's a home game at Jordan-Hare. Bama can't run the ball. I mean, Auburn could win that game. Bama's looked very vulnerable their last 3 games. Their offense, because of the lack of running game, has kind of been stagnating a little bit. So Auburn's been in every game they've played this year too. So, I've seen crazier things happen. And if Durkin does beat Bama, maybe he can get it. But I think Sumrall's the favorite for it right now. And, like I said, I don't think John's leaving to take any job. I just think that Auburn, with his ties to the state, I mean, how could he say no?
Yeah, no, I think that makes a ton of sense. What's up, chat? What's good? Nikki, Raciti, Zach, Shadizzle, Kate. I see you boys out there. Shadizzle asking, I like how Wome's now 2 episodes a week. What's up with that? I think that's just kind of what we settled on here.
We're Monday, Thursday during football season. Getting the Monday night football and the Thursday is the way to go. I feel like is the way to go right now. I like it because we have a ton of good content going over football and gambling and games. And so, the thing with it is I realized it's a mistake. You got to do Monday during football season, and so much happens on the weekend. You got Monday Night Football, and then Thursday is a perfect one in front of Thursday Night Football, previewing the games of the weekend. So I think it's a natural fit because the
Yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in a row, I thought was like too repetitive.
Yeah, and I
That's
can't do Fridays. I travel a lot on Fridays. I'm out of town. I leave tomorrow at like noon, so it's almost impossible for me to do Fridays. So I think Thursday works the best for me. Of course, I'm down for whatever, except for Fridays for the most part.
all right. Yep, that's fair. All right, so let's get into some stuff. First of all, how about the Moody? Have you been following the Anus 100K the word stream?
I saw the clip. I clicked in for a few minutes, watched a few minutes of it. I saw them open. I guess Big Cat had put a note, like he'd put a word in beforehand, and they opened it for the whatever it was, 30,000th
It was
word or
10,000
whatever.
words.
10,000 words, okay, whatever. And saw that they did not have that word, so that was a pretty good clip. That's the
Yeah,
only
for
thing I
sure. Well,
saw.
I was up here till 2:30. Like they've been going for since Monday, so I was trying to help them burning the late night oil. But I think it's Nick Terraney, just the funniest dude, man. I was in a content meeting when he was like, "Yeah, we're gonna do just say all these words," and I was like, "That's brilliant." And then when we were actually doing it, it was so much fun. I'm like naming Louisiana high schools and restaurants in New Orleans and every widespread panic song and listing every poker hand and online poker names and stuff, dude. It's like the most random, but like I've done it a few times. And I don't want to stop. I'm just like, this is so fun. I don't know. It's just his brain just blows me away because with the stuff he thinks of. Because like I'm not capable of thinking of stuff like that. It's just not ever gonna happen.
He's one of
Also,
the sharpest people I've ever seen, for sure. He's a
quick,
sharp ass dude.
so quick witted. Also, Barstool After Dark. Moody, did you see any of the 15-15-30 stream with Stu and me?
I saw Stu throw the ball through the. I saw Stu throw the ball through the hole, and then I saw you throw it up on the ground. And you know what? Look, I'm going to defend you here a little bit. I know you were catching a lot of shit for this, literally and figuratively, but like, bro, when it hits, when the double dragon hits, it's just what can you do? You
What are you
do the
gonna do?
best in that moment to survive and make the best decision you can. Pants up, pants down. You know what? It was hilarious. And I'll say this: Barstool is the only company in the country, in the world, where you can get away with taking a picture of your employee doing that. You know what I mean? Like, and you handled it well. I thought it was absolutely hilarious. Been there, done that myself.
Yeah, I
Pants
know it was
maybe
tough
up.
seeing. So, like, okay, so the for the clip we're referring to, so we had 15-15 minute challenges, and one of them they wheel out all this food like McDonald's burgers, chicken nuggets, some pasta, and the biggest damn cream team ice cream sundae that's literally ever existed on Earth comes out, and we weren't allowed to use our hands, so we had to just go face first, and like, of course, you know, leave it to me, like. I'm I was until Tuesday night on this like no mistakes till to earn my Thanksgiving dinner, and then you get hit with Tuesday night with the biggest ice cream sundae of all time. But man, I just was shoveling it down my face as fast as I could, and then right after that, the next challenge was we had to lose 3 pounds in 15 minutes, and I mean, I thought nature called. I mean, that was the only way it could happen, right? I lost a pound, nobody else did, but
And another thing, you've been eating that dairy-free ice cream for the longest time, right?
man, the cream team's been getting me lately.
Yeah.
Up here, I've been
But
struggling the
that's
last.
different because you're not getting dairy with that. So it's, you know what I mean? It's like you took in a lot of dairy that you hadn't been consuming.
Yeah, well, I feel like you always look for the good in everything. And after having to shovel my face all that ice cream, now I'm not tempted to get ice cream in the office for like months because I can't even look at it after that. After I was throwing it up and crapping it. So like silver linings. If it takes away that ice cream craving that I have to fight all the time, then it's a blessing in disguise. You just got to kind of look at it, just all how you look at it.
I've got a story real quick in defense of your double dragon thing. Whenever I was a freshman in college, I was in a fraternity, and one of our pledge or our older brothers, whatever, he got me real drunk one night at the bar, and I was sitting on the toilet, and then I had to throw up, but I didn't have the wherewithal to turn around and throw up in the toilet, and I just threw up all over my feet. I mean, I'm
Oh,
talking just absolutely cooked myself. So I think you made a better decision in that moment. I think that's actually more dignifiable than throwing up on yourself while you're trying to take a deuce. That was a low moment for me for sure.
Yeah, no, it was a tough scene. That After Dark puts you in a lot of bad spots. I don't know if you saw the other really funny clip was the blind and deaf thing where I didn't get the screws out. Just classic.
I didn't see that one though.
Oh, the last challenge was me deaf and Stu and Tate blind, me instructing them to build something. And I emptied the box and left the screws in and just never saw them. So it was hopeless. Just
Hopeless.
building stuff's
You're
not
trying
good.
to build anything is almost hopeless. You trying to do it blindfolded?
Well, I was
Impossible.
deaf.
Deaf. Okay, deaf.
They were blindfolded, and I was having to instruct them how to build something when they didn't have the screws. So, but shout out Stu Feiner, though, dude. Greatest ever. Way embraces it. Another awesome stream by the After Dark crew, Tate and Lucas and Ryan and White Boy Rick and just Lucas. You know, they're just it's an engine, man. They keep it coming. It's fun to be a part of every week in my co-host role. But I'll tell you one thing. Tate's freaking out. They just released a new Before Dark episode. I was in on a meeting that was part of it where they're doing contingency plans on what if Michigan beats Ohio State. Tate has to walk from Ann Arbor to Columbus, which is, if you go on the highway, it's like 190 miles. But if you take back roads, which you'd have to do because it's too dangerous to walk on the highway, it's 214 miles. Moody, that's a 26-mile marathon 8 days in a row, carrying third base the whole time in the winter.
He has to carry third base as well.
Yeah, they were talking about it. I was like, good, I'll volunteer to help him for a day. They're like, oh, I was like, I ain't volunteering for no 8 days, but like, I'll show up and walk a day with him if that helps. But man, Tate was, he's preaching the confidence with Ohio State. We can't lose to Michigan a fifth year in a row, but like, I mean, the only way they do, it's a rivalry game, but man, if it's like 30s and windy and sleeting and it slows down their passing game, I mean, you never know in a rivalry game.
As long as their receivers and their quarterback are healthy, Ohio State is not losing to Michigan this year. After 4 straight years, there's just no way. I can't see that happening. So I think Tate's okay, but I'll tell you what, if you're that high on Ohio State, you're that dug into the program, it seems like the perfect punishment. It really does.
8 days, winter, a marathon every day. I mean, that is, whoo!
That's
Damn.
brutal.
That's brutal. So we'll see what happens there. All right, I want to get in some of these games. Chat fire away as well with what you got. Moody, let's start with Thursday night tonight because I have actually – NFL, we've been talking a lot lately how the board's been getting tougher, but I actually have a strong opinion on this game. Buffalo, a 5.5-point favorite against Houston, over under 44.5. Davis Mills going for Houston. Houston was 0-3, very quietly 5-5 now. People have forgotten about them after the 0-3 start, but they're right in it at 5-5. Buffalo, Josh Allen coming off 3 touchdowns passing, 3 rushing, 6-touchdown game in a 44-32 win over Tampa. And I have a strong opinion on this game, Moody, like a very strong one.
What you got?
Under 44.5. This total's way inflated because of that shootout against Tampa last week. And you look at Buffalo, Houston they play ferocious defense against everybody. No running backs had over 71 yards rushing against them yet this year. You got, Derek Stingley and Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter rushing the passer. And I'll tell you, there's a direct game this reminds me of Buffalo. This feels like that Atlanta Monday night game, very similar all over again. Buffalo's lack of receivers, Keon Coleman's out. I think Houston could D him up. And I think this could be a bad game for Josh Allen. And I actually think Houston could win this game. I think it could go either way. But I think it's going to be like a 2017 game. Love the under. Love the under.
Yeah, I just think with Davis Mills being a quarterback for Houston, they're not going to score a ton. In this game, you have to double Nico Collins. I would look for Woody Marks to play a big role tonight for Houston. If they're going to spring the upset, they're going to need to run the ball down the Bills' throat, which is obviously the issue with their defense. Their run defense is not good. So I like Woody Marks to have a good game, but I could see the under 44.5 hitting for damn sure.
Yeah, no, I just think Allen's in a tough spot tonight against that pass rush and the receiver. I mean, it's not going to be easy. And I think it's just especially because the 44-32 game's so fresh in everybody's minds. I think 44.5, like this over-under should be like 41, 40.5. Like 44.5 is high for a Houston game this year, the way they play defense, man. So I really like that under. Looking at Houston money line possibly. And kind of was working on our parlay because we got a 30% boost on DraftKings tonight, but you got to go a three-legger. The current one I've got is Houston money line under 38.5, adjusted under, like them winning like a 2016 game. And then the third leg is under 77.5, James Cook rushing, because Houston's not allowed a running back over 71 yet this year. I was looking at Josh Allen under 225.5 passing too. And if I added that, it would be plus 1690 with the boost. And the one I've got right now is only plus 1170. But Moody, usually I shoot for the moon. We need to get one across the goal line here, man, on a losing streak. You know, I think maybe I go with one that has 3 legs and a little better chance to win. What do you think?
No, I think it makes a lot of sense. I love the under. I don't know that Houston can win this game with Davis Mills, but I hear you on your theory there.
I think their
I
defense
like
can win
Josh
this
Allen's
game.
under passing yards. I like what you're talking about with James Cook. My other angle would be Woody Marks in this game potentially popping
It's
off.
high, though. His is like 90, but they're going to – that's another thing. Houston can run the ball long drives, Woody, and shorten the game. Does Nick – I kind of think – could Nick Chubb randomly get in the end zone tonight?
He could. He really saw his carries diminish last week. I don't think he got his first carry until late in the second quarter. It's now Woody Marks' backfield, it feels like, unfortunately. But that being said, you know, if Houston's winning in the second half, Nick Chubb gets some carries, I think there's a chance he could score. But doesn't feel like a safe bet for sure.
This is a crazy one, but this is there's another prop they have on these games, and this is a wild hunch that people are going to say I'm probably nuts for, but this would be one I'd randomly bet the no touchdown if it's like 100-1. I could see this thing being, I know that's a long shot, but if it's like 100-1, I could see this thing being ugly.
I couldn't see it being that ugly. I hear what you're saying, but I personally, I think there's going to be some points scored. Not a ton, but there will be touchdowns.
I'm trying to find it because they're so game props. Let me see. TD props. Both teams to score 1 rush.
What do you guys think, chat? Cade says that he's got the Texans winning tonight. Look, this is a huge game for Houston as well. They lose this game, there's a pretty good chance their season is essentially over. I mean, they could obviously backdoor their way in. But if they lose and Kansas City wins, Baltimore wins, you know, that's a really, really tough spot for them to be in. And they have to play Kansas City, and I think they play Baltimore, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a really tough spot for Houston if they lose tonight. They should show up and play their best game. They don't play Baltimore, but they do play Kansas City. They play Indianapolis. That's who it is. So, like, this is a must-win game, to be honest with you. It just sucks for them that they're not getting C.J. Stroud. I personally don't trust Davis Mills in this spot, but certainly possible. Do you think Josh Allen runs the ball tonight because of the limited receivers?
They've been trying not to run him too much this year. I mean, he's been taking off with some scrambles, and then he does, like, the tush-push stuff. But, I mean, it could happen. I just don't. I don't know that it's going to be designed though. They hadn't really been doing that much.
Chat's asking, do they have no touchdown in the first half?
Let me see. They have no touchdown for the games, 55-1, which I don't know if that's good enough. I was looking for like 90 or 100-1 on that one because that's just a long shot bomb.
You could throw a 10 on it though. You know what I mean?
Let me see. No touchdown. I'm looking through it. TD props. I don't know if I see it for the first half.
I don't think they have first half.
No.
But I mean, if you really believe in the under in this spot, you could take the first half under, game under. You could parlay those together. I don't know if those will parlay for the boost, but they should.
All right, I want to get
really
through.
Double down on the under.
Brandon Walker had a rant that I got to give him credit for because we call out Brandon when it's bad, but we give him credit when it's good. He had a rant that's so true. This is so bad for college football from the SEC, where you play a whole schedule that's tough, and then everybody just takes off this week before rivalry week. It's like we're like the apex of the season, and we've got Auburn playing Mercer, and Ole Miss is on a bye. And, I mean, there are a couple good decent SEC games, but, like, this is the second to last weekend of the year. This should be a freaking primo Saturday, and everybody does this now before their buys where they don't play big games. And it's not good. Like, LSU's playing Western Kentucky. Like, it's just not good. Brandon's right. It's not good for the sport,
Yeah, I mean, looking through the slate, there's, 3 good games? Oklahoma, Missouri.
Yeah, we can start with that. Oklahoma 7.5-point favorite at home, over under 41.5. It's low. I lean Oklahoma here. The only thing is it's hard to lay 7.5 because that's a lot of points in a low-scoring game. But the thing about this game, though, last week Ahmad Hardy had 300 yards from Missouri against a terrible Mississippi State run defense. But they got a freshman backup quarterback out there who's struggling. Oklahoma's got too good of a defense to be that one-dimensional and do well. Like, they're going to gang up on Hardy, and they're going to make the freshman beat him, and I hadn't seen anything that he can do it. I thought he looked like shit against A&M a few weeks ago. So I just don't see how Missouri gets where the point's going to come from. On the Oklahoma side, I know they tend to play close games because they're not the most explosive on offense, but I still lean them to win this like 24-10, something like that. I mean, they're 2 games away from the playoffs. They're off a huge win. The crowd ought to be awesome. Other games to get through. I mean, look at this. Ohio State plays Rutgers. I mean, my God, how's that a conference game? I mean,
how's Rutgers 5-5?
I mean, it's just crazy. Louisville plus 2.5 at SMU. These ACC games are so hard to predict. Louisville's mentally got to be cooked, though. I mean, they were in line to win the ACC, and then you lose home games back to back to Cal and Clemson. I don't know where they are mentally. One game that's a funny one that I'm going to mention that I've been doing this every year. Kirby Smart never gives a damn about covering these big numbers. Never does. They're 43.5 against a terrible Charlotte team. They got Georgia Tech in a rivalry game next week. I like Charlotte plus 43.5. Like, Georgia just wins these games like 34-3. Like, they just don't. Like, it's not like they're ever trying to run it up when they play these bad teams. They never do. Like, it's like a thing I've noticed. So I actually like Charlotte plus 43.5. Some other games to get to on Saturday as I scroll through the board. Tulane's got a little bit of a tricky spot at Temple. Obviously a lot have been talked about Sumrall. They're off that big win at Memphis. I mean, I think they win, but I wouldn't take them to cover going up to Philly. That's just a weird one. Game day is at Oregon. USC plus 10 at Oregon, 59.5. Moody, you and I talk about it. Oregon at home, you don't want to mess with them. I kind of need to see a weather report on that one. But 10's still a lot. Like, USC's more physical than you think. They're not soft anymore. So I think they'll. God, I just don't like going against Oregon at home. I don't have a strong opinion on it, but I just don't like betting against Oregon at home ever. And I think Dante Moore's really been playing well lately. Arkansas plus 8.5 at Texas. Wonder about Texas's mindset here. I mean, you got blown out at Georgia. You got A&M in a rivalry game next week. Arkansas. How do they only have 2 wins? Every game's been close all year. They lost by 1 at LSU last week. I mean, they still hate Texas. I think they'll fight again this week. I mean, every week they fight. They just lose by 3 every week, but they're really not that bad. They're 2-8, but I don't think they're horrible. Is that weird to say?
No, I think you're right. It seems like every single week they're competing. You look up, they've got a chance to win. Then you click back and see the final score. They just lost by a field goal or something. It's been every single week.
Kentucky plus 8.5 at Vandy. Kentucky, quiet story here. Cutter Bowling, they kind of found a young quarterback. And Stoops, they blew Florida out 2 weeks ago. They won at Auburn. Stoops has saved his job for next year, and I lean Kentucky plus 8.5. Vandy's not good at blowing people out. I feel like this is another one of those Vandy Pavia win by 3-7 deals. We've been seeing them all year. And I think Kentucky will fight. They got momentum right now. Notre Dame will kill Syria.
What do you think about JMU this weekend? And then Zach was saying he thinks Kirby Smart is 0-13-1 and spreads over 40 points. So I think
thank you. That is exactly. I didn't know that exact stat, but I've known it's been a thing for a while. 0-13-1. We're on Charlotte.
That's crazy.
I'm looking for the JMU game. Michigan's 14.5 at Maryland. Michigan's in a look-at spot with Ohio State next week, but the only thing, Maryland just can't stop the run, and Michigan's going to run it down their throat. Kind of like Houston by 1.5 at home over TCU. I just think Houston's kind of been sneaky, quietly pretty good all year under Fritz. I hate to say this about my hometown, UL Monroe. They're going to get just murdered at Texas State. That is a terrible matchup for them on the road. Because the only way ULM can hang in is if it's ugly, low scoring, and they're playing the wrong team for that. Texas State's going to they're going to beat the brakes off of them. I hope I'm wrong. Pittsburgh at Georgia Tech. I'm surprised Georgia Tech only a 2.5-point favorite here at home. Would have thought it would be 3 or 4. Over under 61.5. Georgia Tech's playing to get in the ACC championship game. Kind of think they find a way to pull it out, but I don't know why it's only 2.5, but I still lean them to get it done. Penn State, Nebraska, no opinion. Tennessee by 4 at Florida. Florida fought last week. I thought they were giving up after the Kentucky game. The Swamp, they hate Tennessee. Tennessee has a terrible history in the Swamp. Sort of think Florida could win or cover here. It wouldn't shock me. Tennessee's also not in the playoff race anymore. So you kind of got to, like, right when you lose to get knocked out of the playoff race, you kind of got to wonder about team psyches, you know? It just.
No, I couldn't agree more. I think Texas and Tennessee are both in that exact same spot this weekend.
Yeah. BYU by 2.5 at Cincinnati. The line's telling me to take Cincinnati here, even though they've fallen off a little bit. Just BYU's off that huge ass whooping at TCU. I could see that. I don't see a James Madison line. I'm looking for it. Yeah, if the chat wants to make, I'll have an opinion if I can see a line. I didn't see one. They're playing Washington State. I don't know why it's not up. There's talk of game day going there. All right, let's hit our attention to. All right, well, I can see you're looking at something. No.
Say again.
No. I thought you were looking at something on the computer.
I was gonna try and see if I could find the line on that, but I don't.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it.
Jables says Temple has been good to him betting this year. And then he said Arkansas is going to ragdoll Texas. Oh, here, I got a line for James Madison. They are 13.5-point favorites against Washington State, over under 42.
It's just a spot. James Madison's going to win, but I don't know if they're going to cover. Like low over under. And Washington State, fought both Virginia and Ole Miss on the road, so they'll play hard. I think James Madison wins, but I don't feel confident to like 13.5. Like I think they win by 10 here a lot. Let's turn our attention to Sunday. Got a bunch to get to here. Pittsburgh +2. The first place NFC North Chicago Bears, 2.5-point favorites at home over Pittsburgh 45.5. Hadn't heard much on it, but think Rodgers is trending to playing, right? I feel like we'd have heard if he wasn't.
Yeah, I think he's going to try to play. It's just a fracture. It's not all the way broken. Perk Rodgers, and the one thing you don't want is to run into Perk Rodgers. That's a different man. So I think there's a chance Pittsburgh could show up and win this game.
I got a take on it that's a little different than the narrative that most people are saying. I think Pittsburgh has been getting rained on for how bad their pass D was early in the year, and I think they figured it out in the last few weeks. They're different. The Steelers' D's back. Allowed 12 points to Cincinnati last week. Even that Chargers game, they couldn't move the ball, but they played good. And I kind of like under 45.5 here, especially if it's like cold and rainy. I'm not so sure Caleb has a good game here that everybody's predicting. I think this could be a mucked up Steelers game.
I agree. I don't trust the Bears. I think they're the worst 7-3 team in the NFL. And just again, like we talked about their schedule on Monday, I see them losing a lot of games down the backstretch. Would not be surprised if Pittsburgh wins this game on Sunday. That's not a game I'm going to touch because I don't trust Pittsburgh necessarily either. But I could see the Steelers winning that.
I think Caleb's everybody thinks he's going to have a good game. I don't see it. I think he has a bad game this week against the Steelers defense. Giants +10.5 at Detroit. Dart looks like he's going to play. I think Detroit kicks the shit out of him, though.
Yeah.
Just telling you. We've seen this all year. Anytime they lose, they're like 13-0 off losses. They're back at home. The Giants defense is bad. This feels like a get-right party for the Detroit offense. Just my thoughts.
When they lose on the road, then they come home and they take care of business. They've only lost once at home this entire season. The Giants, look, Jackson Dart is an incredible story. They just have no weapons to keep up in this game. Their defense outside of their pass rush is terrible. They're still getting the ball run down their throat at times too. I cannot trust the Giants in this game. 10 feels like the perfect number by Vegas, but I would probably still take Detroit -10.
And there's also a narrative. So much of Dart's success has been with his legs, but there's a huge thing where they all called him into the office and they're warning him to run less to protect himself because they're worried about his long term. And if he runs less, that's been a huge part of their success is him running. So if he's running less, that's not good for them. Seahawks by 13.5 at Tennessee, 39.5. I got nothing on that.
It's just a high line with the team on the road. It's clearly the better team, but it just feels like a stay away for me. Tennessee could easily backdoor 13.5. They suck.
They almost beat Houston last week.
Yeah, they're coming off. It feels like they've played a little bit better. They're not great by any means.
No,
I just wonder.
No.
Is there a little bit of a hangover from playing the Rams last week for Seattle? That was such a big game. I'm sure they got so hyped for it. I'm sure they used a lot of their energy. Are they really going to come out with the same intensity against Tennessee? Just feels like a spot where Tennessee could cover.
Yeah, you know what? I may take Tennessee plus 13.5. You might have just talked me into
I
it.
could see it.
Noon game, traveling cross country.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yep.
I could see Seattle winning ugly here. New England by
Yeah.
5.5. It's what's up?
No, you're good. I said I don't love it, but I could see it.
New England by 5.5 at Cincy, 51.5. Burrow's been practicing. Is he going to go?
I think week 13 is whenever they're thinking he's going to be back. So he should be back for Thanksgiving. It's going to be Joe Flacco once again this week. No Chase Brown in this. I mean Chase Brown. No
Jamar.
Jamar Chase in this game. And here's my concern. Everybody thinks T. Higgins is going to pop off and ball out in this game. The problem is he's now going to get Christian Gonzalez in coverage in this spot. And that just there's no other real weapons outside of Chase Brown to take that pressure off. Like Yoshi Voss and Noah Fant are decent pieces, but I can't see them changing the game. It's tough not to like New England here. I can't get behind Cincinnati.
No. And like you said, this is brutal not having Chase because you have Chase and Higgins. I think New England's pass D can be exploited, but just having Higgins out there is not – it's not good.
Yeah.
Tyrod Taylor going for the Jets plus 13.5 at Baltimore, 44.5. I don't really have an opinion on – well, I actually like the under a little. But I think King Henry's going to – this is the Derrick Henry over 102 touchdown special. I said it on the Fantasy Football Factory pod, and I repeat it here. They get the lead, and they're playing with the lead. The Jets no longer have Quinnen Williams or Sauce Gardner. They're just – I mean, the run defense has been bad all year. I think Henry's going to cook.
This is such a get-right spot for Baltimore. If you want to build momentum down the stretch, you better go torch the piss out of the Jets. Like, get Lamar going, get the passing game going. Zay Flowers hasn't done much the last few weeks. You know, Derrick Henry's been very volatile throughout the course of the season. Blow them out. Like, just beat the crap out of the Jets. The Jets have nothing to play for. I know Tyrod somewhat makes them better offensively, but they still don't have Garrett Wilson. This should be a spot where Baltimore goes, or at home against the Jets, just beats the shit out of them. Really and truly, their offense should score 30 plus in this game.
All right, very interesting game here. So many storylines in KC. This is just fascinating. 5-5 Chiefs in a must-win game here. 3.5-point home favorite over Indy. 50.5. Indy's off a bye. Both sides here. So much on the line. KC's got to have this game. Like they can't lose this game at home. Like if they're going to make a run at the playoff, they have to win. This is it. We saw them in a weird spot. They took care of Detroit a few weeks ago in spot. And on the Indy side, you got everything to prove here. You go and win this game. You're for real. You have a shot at the 1 seed, and you prove you can win on the road in a tough situation. And I've been arguing my gambling text thread all week about it because one of my buddies who Moody and I respect says Indy's going to win, and he's saying the Chiefs party's over. I still like KC. I like KC by 3.5. It's a must win. The KC defense, I don't think Taylor can run wild on them. He can have a decent game, and I still don't believe in Daniel Jones on the road. So I'm going KC here. I'm going down with the ship, and that's one of my favorite games of the week.
This is my favorite game of the week. Kansas City minus 3.5. I'm also going to take it on the alternate minus 9.5. I just do not see it here for Indianapolis. They're 2-2 on the road. You get Daniel Jones out of the dome, take him out in Kansas City where it could be a little bit colder this weekend. It's looking like it's going to be 55. Kansas City's defense is still so damn good. I know they've had some inconsistencies with the offense at times. Obviously, Denver's a great defense, kind of, made Mahomes work for it last week. Indy's not that. They're good. They are not on the same level as the Denvers and the Kansas Cities. Kansas City's going to prove that on Sunday. I love Kansas City minus 3.5. Easily my favorite game of the week. KC is going. There's a chance they blow them out. I'm going to take Daniel Jones interception. Kansas City minus 9.5. Kansas City is going to remind everyone on Sunday we're not done yet.
I like it. That's where I'm at with it too. And everything Moody said, I agree with. Minnesota plus 6.5 at Green Bay, 41.5. Kind of lean Minnesota even after how bad McCarthy's been, just because this is a divisional game. Give me the 6.5. It looks like Josh Jacobs is probably going to be out. The Green Bay offense has been inconsistent. No.
He practiced today, limited.
Okay, they're probably going to play. Either way, I'm Minnesota or nothing here. Jacksonville by 3 at
I,
Air. Good.
well, I got one more thing to say about that game. I like the under in that game because I
Yeah.
do not trust McCarthy the way he's been playing. I
I mean, dude,
definitely
he
trust the
never
Packers
throws for
defense.
200 yards. Like on
He
the road
has,
in
and that Packers
Lambeau.
defense, even though their offense has not looked great, that defense is still so damn good. One of the best defenses in the NFL. And the Green Bay offense hasn't looked great, especially if you're going to say Josh Jacobs is missing time. Probably my second favorite play of the week, under 41.5 Packers Vikings.
Man, the Tucker Craft injury really hurt Green Bay, man. I mean, you saw what he did in that
Yeah.
Sunday night game against Pittsburgh. Like he's a guy they couldn't lose, and you're seeing
Hmm.
them without him. It's not the same. Jacksonville by 3 at Arizona, 47.5. Jags off their best game of the year, smoking the Chargers last week. I got no. I don't. I'm not gonna even act like I have a clue on this one. You got anything?
We talked about it on Monday how inconsistent the Jags are. Like it would not shock me if they laid somewhat of an egg in Arizona on Sunday. But that being said, I'm still on the Jacksonville side here, but I do not love it. Um, their inconsistencies scare the piss out of me. They still have a chance to win that division. Look, they win, Indy loses, they're only one back. They're in a good spot to potentially run Indianapolis down. But they're a scary team to bet because of
They're
how
Jekyll. They're just so
inconsistent they've
Jekyll
been.
and Hyde, man. I
Yes, they
can't.
are
That's what I'm
big
saying.
time.
I smell a rat almost here, like right when you think they're good.
Hmm.
You know.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I hear you.
Cleveland Browns plus 3.5 at Vegas, 35.5. Shador Sanders starting. Moody, I'm saying it. I can't believe I'm saying it. I like Cleveland even with Shador going. Raiders can't give 3.5. Browns defense will keep them in it, getting over a field goal. I mean, they could lose by a field goal, but the Browns have been fighting all year, even though they've been losing. Give me the plus 3.5. I can't believe I'm taking Shador Sanders.
I like Cleveland because of their defense in this game and Quinshawn Judkins. They've won two games this year. One of them was against Green Bay, which is very impressive. They've been in some other games that they've covered but have not won. This is the spot, especially the offensive line for the Raiders. They've struggled a ton. I mean, we saw the Cowboys get a lot of pressure on them on Monday night. Myles Garrett has had like 4 sacks. It feels like every game lately. He's going to get a few more in this game. He's going to be all over Geno Smith in this contest. Him, and that pass rush are going to be the key to this game. And then Quinshawn Judkins. And if Shador, with a week of practice, he's getting his first team reps. If he can just play serviceably, Cleveland wins this game. But it's scary because of Shador. He could easily lose them this game as well. But I think Stefanski's going to be smart. He's going to run the football. We're going to see Judkins get 20, 25 touches for sure.
I like it too. All right, Eagles at Cowboys, Barstool game of the week. Nicky Smokes winning the yak wheel. He's got a 10K bonus bet. He was asking me in the hallway what he should do. He's debating, do I do a big bomb or do I do something conservative? Everything's on the table. But I will say this. He got a great game to pick a game of the week because these Eagles, Dallas. This game could get wild in Dallas. Over under 47.5. Eagles are 3. I feel like this could be a prop type game. I can't figure out if I like A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith more, but I feel like somebody's going off.
A.J. Brown is going to eat this week. This is the spot. The Dallas run defense, we talked about it going into Monday night when we made our parlay. Dallas run defense has been decent, but they just get gashed through the air. A.J. Brown, all the BS that's been going on with him and the team and all this, it's a great week to erase that. I think he explodes against the Cowboys. He was him and Hurts were my duo for DFS this week. I love AJ Brown. Devonta Smith's going to have a good game as well. I think just because the Cowboys give it up to everyone.
Hurts
Could
overpassing
have gotten
too.
our ass. Yeah, I mean, I really legitimately think this is a pop-off week for A.J. Brown, and it helps them build some momentum offensively down the backstretch here because they're going to be a Super Bowl contender. They do need to get him going, and especially just erase this narrative, make him happy, get everything going. I think this is the perfect week for it. I think Dallas will be competitive in this game, but I like over 47.5 more than anything, and I really like A.J. Brown.
I think Jalen Hurts over his passing yardage numbers are lower because they run and stuff. Over 250 plus 276. I mean, everybody throws for 250 against Dallas, and I think he's going to be taking some shots. I think the Hurts passing yardage may be the play here because the AJ or Devontae, it doesn't matter who gets it.
I mean, look, I'm going to rip a little same game parlay for this one. AJ over like 80, a touchdown. Jalen Hurts over 240. I'll probably knock it down a little bit. I mean, beautiful.
I like it too. The Dirty South Bowl that no one cares about but Saints and Falcons fans. I can't believe I'm saying it, Moody. Really like the Saints this week by 2.5 at home. Atlanta, Kirk Cousins, no Drake London. They're done. Saints are off a bye. Shuck played well 2 weeks ago. They hate Atlanta. I expect the Saints win here. I think they're going to be fired up. I can't believe I'm saying it, but that's what I think.
I could see it. The only thing I like in this game is Kyle Pitts. We saw what happened last time Drake London was out. When Penix was out, it was the Kyle Pitts show. I think his catches in this game are something to really monitor. He could get 6-7 grabs for sure.
Okay. And then Bucks plus 6.5 at the Rams Sunday night, 49.5. I don't really have a read. Bucky back.
The Rams might blow them out. The way the Tampa Bay's defense has looked the last couple games, the way that Stafford has been slinging it, I know he didn't throw it as well last week. I could see the Rams just blowing them out. And this could be a real statement, right? The Bucks, a playoff contender, but they're a little beat up. They may get Bucky Irving back this week. It just feels like a spot where the Rams might come out and slaughter them. I debated over 49.5 in this spot, but I worry about the Bucks being able to keep up because the Rams defense is so good. So I think Vegas put a really good number on that. More than anything, though, I like Rams -7. I think there's a potential for a blowout.
Okay, there you have it. And then we'll hit the Monday game on Monday. So what, Moody, you got fights? Where you headed this weekend? I heard you had some fights.
Lake Charles. We got Lake Charles. I started doing some of the matchmaking a couple months ago. My first ever fight to match is happening, which I'm super excited for. I matched a few fights on this card, but Aleka Segliani, who trains with he trains at Syndicate in Las Vegas, one of the best gyms in the entire country. I got him against Hunter Smith, who's one of the best prospects in the South. It's a banger. I mean, these are two guys that both have UFC aspirations. And for me to be the guy that matched that and made it happen, I couldn't be more excited about it. So I know the UFC's eyes will be on our card. They watch a lot of our stuff because our main and co-mains usually feature guys that have UFC talent. They'll definitely be watching this one. So I'm super excited about it.
All right. Also, stuff to be excited about this weekend. Well, Jay, get a chance. Check out the DraftKings Sportsbook at Golden Nugget if you get a chance this weekend, too.
Yeah, well, I'm staying at the Golden Nugget, so
I'll check it out. I'm telling you, it's pretty sick.
Do they have a poker room?
Oh, yeah. Nugget's got a poker room.
Okay, I'm going to rip that, too.
Also, this weekend, Pup Punk, our friends, PFT and Robbie Fox and Frankie Borelli and Caroline and the crew have a show tomorrow night at Reggie's in Chicago. We'll be there. Looking forward to hitting that update. Man, if you've never seen Pup Punk, it's awesome. You get a bunch of stoolies in there, playing a bunch of badass 90s covers. They incredible crowd engagement. I mean, I had to crowd surf at one last year. I hope they don't make me do that tomorrow night, but I feel like they might. But come join us at Reggie's. That's tomorrow night. That'll be a hell of a lot of fun. And then, just big weekend ahead. Going to be watching football and, a lot of good stuff going on as always at the stool. It's just always rolling.
Raciti was making fun of me saying Moody thinks 55 is cold. I mean, when you're from the South, 55 is colder than ideal. But my main point being that it's Daniel Jones away from home. It's not the same environment. Playing in that dome, it's always a perfect environment. It's just it's a very rough spot for
you got that at Pittsburgh game in your head when he really melted down a few weeks ago too.
Of course, yeah, and I think you're going to see that in this game, because Kansas City has done a great job stopping the run. And if Jonathan Taylor can't get going in this game and you have to rely on Daniel Jones to win you the football game, I do not, and I said this early in the season, he is not the guy to go win you a game. He is a dude that can keep you from losing a game. He can exploit bad defenses, but he cannot beat good defenses when the entire game is on him. And you're going to see that on Sunday. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I'm hyper confident in this one.
All right. I like it. Well, hope everybody has a good weekend. We'll be back in here Monday at 4 and Pop Punk tomorrow night. Moody, have fun at your fights. Looking forward to watching some football all weekend and, best time of year. Got to enjoy it. We got Thanksgiving. Next week we'll have a Monday show, but no Thursday because we got Thanksgiving. I hope everybody has a great time with their loved ones. I'm staying up here for it, but still excited about it. All right.
I'll be home next Friday, so maybe if we want to rip something on Friday.
Man, office is closed Friday. Office is closed Friday. Okay. Next Friday's Egg Bowl, 11 a.m. So I'm hoping Brandon will do the stream, but I hadn't got an answer yet from him.
Will Lane Kiffin still be Ole Miss's coach going into the Egg Bowl, or will he be headed somewhere else? Final prediction going into the weekend.
Yeah, he's going to coach the Egg Bowl no matter what. The big question is, will he announce an extension, or if he's leaving? Like, he's not going to announce if he's leaving before it. He could announce an extension, but it feels like to me he's trying to push this back like just do the Egg Bowl and then announce right after it. So I that's how it feels to me right now. I still think he stays though. I still think it's all show. I really do.
All right, I'm out of here, boys.
All right, y'all take it easy. Have a great weekend.